Understand. It's a simple word, but a deep one. How does the idea of understanding come to life when it comes to Fairmont service? I create the Fairmont experience by understanding each guest as a unique individual.
For us, especially when we make reservations, we always ask for special requests or little things to do with our kids. So we always put in notes or send an email and let them know. So that's kind of giving them a heads up. And then I guess if you're a returning customer, just kind of doing a little bit of research and maybe noticing, oh, they have little ones, maybe we can, find a way to make some of these things easier.
It can sometimes be a challenge to prepare for the thousands of different guests who enter our doors each year. But when it's done right, we have the ability to make it feel seamless and personal. Our guests aren't exposed to our challenges or the buzz of activity that might be happening in the background to keep things running. Instead, they feel a sense of calm and that their service is uninterrupted, seamless, and genuinely personalized to their needs. Nobody likes to feel like a number. That's why patiently treating everyone as a unique individual is so important. We serve others the way they want to be served. When you think about it for a moment, it's pretty hard to serve anyone if you don't know them, or at least some key information about them in relation to the type of experience you are trying to provide.
I think to keep it personal, well, you have to stay for a certain while, take some time to know who the guests are. If they've been here before, I'm sure there's a file on each one of the guests that says all of the positives and negatives. And they should, of course, study that and try to make the guest arriving feel comfortable and known.
To help you become acquainted with who our guests are, we've made a simple tool we like to call Fairmont Guestography. Fairmont Guestography is the study of what makes each Fairmont guest unique. The combination of their purpose of stay, perspectives, preferences, and passions. Purpose. Why has the guest chosen to visit us?
So I'm a business traveler.
Traveling is a lot easier for business and professionals versus families.
If I'm there for business and how they can meet my business needs, if I'm there for pleasure or traveling with my family, then we need to have a different sort of conversation.
It's really pretty simple. When you think about how a guest's purpose of stay impacts their needs, you can empathize with what they might be expecting from their experience and how that might differ, for example, between business and leisure. Perspective. What does the guest value and expect for an ideal visit?
Well, I travel as a family, so when I am traveling, I put a lot of time into making the travel plans. So it's nice that when you get there, whoever you're getting service from is organized on their end.
From our perspective, our events are usually for client engagement.
It's a challenging part of our industry, preparing for and catering to the needs of a range of guests, from families wanting to spend quality time together, to businesses organizing important events, and everything in between. By trying to see things through each guest's perspective, we're better positioned to make their stay a positive one and anticipate their needs. Preferences. What adjustments do we need to make to meet the guest's unique needs?
I don't like to be by an elevator. I don't like to be by an ice machine just because I am such a light sleeper. Anything wakes me up.
One of my biggest quirks is I like to be close to an elevator. When I'm tired at the end of the day, I don't want to walk down the long hall.
No, please don't put me on the 18th floor, the furthest room away from the lift, because when I'm in and out of the hotel all day, I don't want to be making that run.
For me, quietness is more important than a view.
They know what I need: water, towels, pillows that they provide, and they know what kind of pillow I always request. I think they put into the system, but they will never forget to put a pillow before I check in. Yeah, so everything is arranged according to what I need.
I'm not at that high level maintenance guy that requires to be beckoned at every moment I'm walking in the hotel, so to speak, whereas I've witnessed other people do.
Right from the very start, when they arrived, they offered us some champagne, and I said, well, I prefer Campari, and whenever I come now, it's Campari. And then one day I added, because I was in Italy, and they ran out of sparkling water, and I said, what do you have that's sparkling? They said, well, champagne. I said, well, stick that in.
I really do appreciate the amenities that a hotel will give you, such as when you check in, if they know what sort of food tray you'd like, be it nuts or fruit. I do appreciate that, getting back at the end of the day and saying that's there.
And it's nice not having to sort of reintroduce yourself every time you come back to a property. So they just know who you are and what your preferences are.
Preferences are just a conversation starter. Just because it's in the profile, or just because a guest requests it once, doesn't mean we should act on it all the time. It's best to always acknowledge a guest's preference and ask if they'd like to receive it again, rather than simply presuming and acting.
Staff just come up and ask, how was your stay? How was your dinner? How was your meal? How are your drinks? And you can provide that immediate feedback, and then they can sort of catalog that and meet my needs when I come back.
Passions. We all have passions. Things in our lives that we have strong connections with. And when people connect with our passions, that helps us create stronger connections with them too. Whether it's connecting in conversation, showing you've listened through a small gesture, or a recommendation for an activity or place a guest might truly appreciate based upon their passion. When we genuinely connect with our guests' passions at a deeper level, they feel understood and appreciated as individuals, and that contributes to loyalty that can last a lifetime.
When I travel, it is one of the reasons to go to the same hotels is that people know your little habits and what you like and what you don't like.
I think that defines loyalty, because we don't go elsewhere.
By understanding that our guests are unique individuals and executing our loyalty program, we ensure that our guests feel understood, important, recognized. Our ability to make guests feel this way significantly or repeatedly during their visit contributes to our guests feeling like their best selves. Our guests will want to return to places that allow them to feel like this. Creating these emotional connections contributes to building an unwavering bond with our brand.